Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you. And I think you'll have to listen. Because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be as bright as the sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give, something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now I know. Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give, something's telling me it's right. When you came to me, who are you? It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Everybody's in the building. Make some noise if you're in the house. Go ahead and click that button. If you're new here, don't hit to subscribe to your girl. We're going to do, it's January. It's a new year. It's 2026. It is the 12th day. You guys, I came on here because there is updates in the Young Thug and then Jarvis Butts case. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. And I like, I know I didn't come on last week. Okay. That was what? The 5th, the 7th, and the 9th. Well, I have to tell y'all what's going on with that. But first, let's get into the logistics of why we came on today. And, I just want to give a shout out to everybody that's in the building, especially family that's already been here. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Freddie Johnson, how you doing? That is my girl. She is in the building. She said, I'm not going to leave you hanging. Zena's in the house. Zena's in the house. C6 Banks is in the building. Cynthia Campbell is in the building. Lisa Taylor's in the building. Lisa's my girl, Lisa. These are mods, you guys. They are in blue. If you see that they have a wrench, they are the mods there to help you navigate through this. Make sure you don't say any, vulgar language in the chat room. I know we're going to start doing things a little different this year. You're just going to give me time because sometimes like it's almost like a job. We've been here for 5 years. 5 years. I think it's more than 5 years because COVID came out in 2020 and we was here way before 2020. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So I I think it's more than 4 or 5 years. I to be honest with you, it could be like 8. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But we've been here for a while. Like I said, we was here before COVID. So COVID jumped out in 2020. If my if I remember correctly, I think. But anyway, Zena's in the building. Connie Branch is in the building. That's Connie's sister. Uh, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let's see. Let's see. Janie is in the building. How you doing, Janie? Jenny Henderson. How you doing? These is people that's been here. Cupcake. She said 2019 with me. I was Cupcake Case. Okay. 2019. What was the first case? It was Malia Davis. No, 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 no. It was not even Malia Davis. The first case was the Jasmine case. You remember when the young lady said that she had went to this club? I guess it was in Atlanta, or uh, I think it was in Atlanta. She was dating this guy, and she went to this club, and in the club she was supposed to meet her girlfriends, and nobody showed up. Not the Malia case. I thought it was Malia, but no, it was Jasmine. And then they were supposed to had raped her on the dance floor at the club. That was the very first case. And I mean, that's why we started the channel, because first of all, we were just talking about the cases and how things happen. But the first child case was Malia Davis. Zena, okay, I remember that one. You remember? I remember her name was Jasmine. I can't remember what her last name was, but she allegedly, and we were just coming on, and we started this channel by just wanting to talk about, like, getting everybody's perspective, talking to not young, not too old, but just right, just you know women with a voice to understand what's going on, because we had, most of us have children that was going out in the world, going out in the community. My daughter, I mean if you think about it, if we started in like 2019, 2018, somewhere around there, then you're looking at 6, 7, 8, maybe 7, 8 years, right? Well, take 6, 7, 8 years off my daughter's age, and she'll be in her late 20s. She was out, out there in the world trying to find what, her significant other, who she was gonna date or whatever. And so, we was just trying to understand. Hey, Spicy, how you doing? Understanding, trying to give our children guidance, even though, they can be adults all they want, they're still our children. They'll always be our children. That's funny how they can be an adult and a child at the same time. People's like, how can you be? And thank you, Lord. Oh my God. God is so good. He just answered something for me. And it was just so weird when it just came out. Because I don't go and write, sometimes I do write things down just because I don't want to forget it. And I'm gonna do much better on that, you guys, especially when it comes to information and facts. But I hadn't wrote this down because it was a personal conversation with the Lord, and I was asking him, uh, like people would always say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and they are one. And I was like, how could they be one? I mean, you know what I'm saying. You give those and you give those conversations to the Lord, and you just be like, wow, they're one. Because sometimes people be like, well, are you a Christian? Do you believe in God? And what is your God? And do you believe in Jesus? And well, is Jesus God? And they got all these questions, and you're like, how do I answer that? Jesus is God, and God is over everything. Is he the universe? Or and I watch people kind of analyze that question, and I had asked the Lord, just in my mind and thought, I was like, okay, you're the Son and the Father and the Holy Spirit, but you're God. You're one in all. And I mean, and that's my belief. That don't have to be your belief. I'm just saying. Okay. So I'm gonna share with you guys something that I felt that I think the Lord wants me to share with you also. And so just stay put. But so he just answered that in just what I just said. Like I said, I don't rehearse none of this stuff. We just chit chat. Hey, Misty Blue, I see you in the building. Happy New Year's to you. Um, just like what we just said. My daughter, she was 29. She's 30 something now, but she was 29 at the. But she's a mother, but she's my daughter, and she's an adult, and she's a child. You see what I'm saying? She's my child. So she can be all of these things in one. You know? She's a child plus an adult plus a mother and a wife. You know what I'm saying? So she can be all of these, like the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. They can be all in this, but the same. So wow, that's kind of deep. That I don't know if you guys got it, but when it came out of my mouth, I was like, "Thank you, Lord, for answering that question." And it kind of he just threw it out there because I was like, "Yeah, my daughter is my daughter. She's my child. Plus, she's an adult and married and a wife, and you know what I mean." She's all of that. She's all of that in a bag of chips, and I love her. Anyway, you guys, well, I'm just thankful that he kind of gave me that little eyesight. Like, I mean, it's a symbolic. I mean, it's not even symbolic. You could be a sister, an aunt, and a daughter. See, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's how, just a question that, I kind of kind of went to the Lord and was like, okay, you're the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay, well, okay. How can you be all three? How can you be the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you guys have deep conversation. I mean, whether you say it out verbally, audibly, or whatever, but sometimes you just think about when people speak on. I went out and hit that like button. Thank you, Spicy. And talk to the Lord, and does he answer? Sometimes it be quick, and sometimes it just comes when you're not even expecting it. But anyway, you guys, I haven't been here, but I will tell you at the end of this what happened if you stick around or whatever. But let's get off into some of the content of what's been going on. First of all, I want to tell you guys, I know if you haven't paid attention, today is January the 12th. Now, a year from now in a day, on January the 11th, that is when Naziah Harris came up missing. Or, well, January the 9th. I'm sorry. So the 9th would have been last Friday. So, yeah, it's been a year now. It's been a whole year. No, it's been, sorry, 2 years. 2 years, you guys. I am so sorry. It's been 2 years. She came up missing in 2024. Yeah. She said, my hand been itching all last week. God bless me with $260. He never let me down. All right. I haven't seen Tina Powers in the building for today. I need to tell her because, I always tell y'all, if y'all want me to mail you something, it's going to take some time because I don't really just go to the post office, which is way out of my range of going places. But I'm going to get my butt up and I got all her stuff ready. When is Cody's birthday? I know it's on the 8th because that was the number that Nancy with Cody's voice picked and won the money. Yeah, she won the $100 in our Christmas giveaway, and it was on the 8th. And I may be wrong, but isn't it August the 8th? I could be wrong, but I do know it's on the 8th, you guys, for sure. Because she was like, I said, why'd you pick that number? She was like, that's Cody's birthday. I was like, oh, okay. So I know it's not in July because I would have been like, yeah, he's a Cancer baby. So I think it was like, so there's so many people. And I don't have my phone here. I left it in there. That, birthdays and the day that they were missing and all of that, that it's just a lot. And if I was downstairs, I have a folder I could just look at. SP, the chick you spoke of is Jasmine Island. Elan. Yeah. Yeah, Misty Blue, you are right. Yeah, Jasmine Elan. Exactly. And remember, they found out that she was not telling the truth. And I tried to tell y'all that. And that's why we started this channel. We started this channel because, and people was like, but aren't you a girl? I am a girl. I am, don't come for me. I am a girl. But I'm not going to pick a girl that's lying over a man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not prejudiced. I love my men too. I sure do. I married one. So, like, and I got a lot of brothers and I think they the greatest. I think they're great to be men. They get, they do things, they got their problems, but I think they're good men. Like, I wouldn't mind being married to my brothers, of course. I think my brothers are really good husbands and mates to whoever they're with. Now, they got problems, but you can get them on the right track. But I think, one of my brothers been married to his wife for 40 some years. And I mean, they fought like cats and dogs, but they made it work. I'm proud of him. And then my other brother, he got married 3 times and it wasn't like he was just a cheater. He wasn't. I'm not saying he didn't cheat because I believe he did. But, they hold good jobs. They pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? They pay the bill. I don't think he was going out there cheating. I think, things got a little sticky. I don't know. I can't make, I think a cheater is a cheater, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, John 10:30 states, I and my father are one. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So you're getting a little bit of some knowledge in this channel. So anyway, so Um, so let's talk about that because I was feeling some kind of way last week, and I really did not know why. And I think we need to just, you know, hey Lisa Calhoun, how you doing? Sometimes, hey Shauna, I see you. Shauna is in the building. Like sometimes things just be happening in your life and you be like, what the heck is going on? I mean, things at my job is, it is what it is. Uh I'm I'm literally going to work and minding my business. And it is crazy. It is crazy how things is happening. But you never know what's gonna happen the next day. I quit working a lot of overtime because it just seemed like, it's hard to work overtime when things are not the way they're supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, ugh. But anyway, I've got a 3 days coming up, but I'm gonna have to work one of those days. But anyway, nevertheless, I literally supposed to have four, but I said I was gonna work one day. Anyway, you guys, let's talk about Jeffrey Williams. Jeffrey Williams is Young Thug. And if you know, we covered the case of Young Thug, finding out that they had charged him racketeering, trying to start a mob, a gang, YSL in the Atlanta area. He's got kids down there. He's a known rapper. Um, some people love his music. I can't really get with it. I want to talk a little bit about Young Thug. I love Young Thug, you guys. Don't get me wrong. I don't care for the music because like it's not the type of rapping I grew up on. We grew up on, the rapping like uh uh Chocolate Delight and Kumo D and like you know the first rap was bang bang, jump to the boogie to the boogie to the boogity beat. I mean, we knew every word. I am one the mic, and I like to say hello to the black, to the purple, the white, and the yellow. First, you gotta bang bang a boogie boogie, jump jump to boogie to the beat. And you rock and you don't stop. Now, yeah, Run DMC, yeah, that's what I grew up on. So this type of rapping, it ain't nothing wrong with it. Trust me, ain't nothing wrong with it. But those was the founders. That was the lock and key of what rap was all about. So today's rap, she said, just looked it up. Today is his birthday. He would be 8 years. Who? Cody? She didn't. Oh, he would be 8. So is that what she said? Oh, C6 Banks. Well, she picked the number 8. So, she probably picked the number 8 because he would be 8. Oh, I don't know. She said she picked the number 8 or 12. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even remember. Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's why she said he would be 8 or something. That's why she picked that number. I don't know. She picked the number 8 or whatever the number was. She won that money. She retracted the statement. Oh, she retracted the statement. Oh, so yeah, see, okay. So anyway, so Young Thug, let me tell you guys what I mean, and you're gonna have to go and look at it yourself. So Young Thug was tried for this racketeering and trying to start a gang that the gang, this gang, and I'm not saying it wasn't a gang, but it was, you guys, let's just be honest, it was a gang that had been growing way before Young Thug was even born, to be honest with you. Let's put that out there. He didn't start no gang. He got probably into it just by living on the streets. of in that area, or being in that community area, and hooking up with the same people just because you lived on the street. You know, you help the community, you help the people in the area. That, I don't know what all they were doing, but or wasn't doing. I can't say they were doing anything. I wasn't there. I don't know. But Young Thug grew up in that community, and now he is a very well known rap artist, and very nice looking, must I say. But he's got a weird uh, aesthetic to himself. Now that's what we're going to talk about for a little bit. But so Young Thug went to court, and he had Brian Steele as his attorney, which Brian Steele was the attorney for the other rapper that and who was that, P Diddy. And he's very good. But anyway, while they were doing the case with Young Thug, remember the police seized Young Thug's everything, his house, his cars. He had Mercedes, he had Jags, he had, you name it, he had Stingrays, whatever. He had, matter of fact, hold on, let me get my phone real quick. Okay, got it. Got it. But Young Thug had all of these things because he was rich. He's like maybe the third or fourth rich person in in Atlanta. Well, he's not in Atlanta no more because remember, he had to leave Atlanta. That was one of the conditions of his parole. He had to leave Atlanta and not speak to the people that was on, in this group. I just call it a group, to be honest with you. So here's the news update on Young Thug. And we're going to talk about Young Thug a little bit. But Young Thug, finally the judge ordered Fulton County. I don't know if it's Fulton County, but it just sounds right to me for some reason. I don't know. And I think it is Fulton County. I don't know. Fulton County seemed like that should have been somewhere in Texas. But anyway, whatever county that is in Atlanta, Young Thug, the judge had ordered for them to give all his stuff back to him. His seized money and other items, and let me.
Judge has ordered the Fulton County District Attorney's office to turn over rapper Young Thug's belongings. They were seized as part of a criminal investigation where prosecutors accused him of running a street gang known as YSL. He pleaded guilty to some charges in 2024 after a lengthy criminal trial, but received no additional jail time. A judge says his personal items, which include cars, guns, and nearly $150,000 in cash, must be returned by 5 p.m. tomorrow.
And I don't know if you guys heard what she said. She didn't say all of his stuff. I was right, wasn't I? I said Fulton County. It just sounded like it was the right thing. It just sounded right. You know what I'm saying? But she said, and if I can come out of this and go back into it, she said some of his things. So remember, there was a watch. Was it a watch? Let me think. Yeah, it was some very expensive watch that was missing. And He wants his stuff back. Let's try to get it and see if you guys hear the magic word. The magic word was some of his stuff. So let me see if we can get it back again. Okay. See if you hear some, because I wonder what all he get back, because he got that house and he had $149,000 in cash. Y'all, I ain't got $149 period. He had $149,000. I'm sorry. I should have said $149,000 in cash. He carried around on him in his house or whatever, in his little bank deposit thing at his home or whatever. $149,000. Would you like to have $149,000? Freddie just got through saying she was blessed with $260. She just happy. That's pretty much almost half of what, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. $149,000 in your purse right now. That I'm not talking about in the bank. I'm talking about in cash right now. In your purse, in your stash, in your closet. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So no, C6 banks, they gonna have to come up with that money. And yes, Misty Blue said, yeah, Fannie Willis is the DA. Yeah. That watch and that money, y'all have to, she ordered them at 5:00 that day. I think it was on the 7th of January or the 8th. I don't know, you guys. She said by 5:00 p.m., give him all his stuff back. Now, they gonna have to come up with it. Because remember, Fannie Willis and her husband had got new something. I can't remember what it was they went and bought, but they were looking very sharp. And they're going to have to come up with that money. They're going to have to come up with that money, y'all. Or they're going to have to, they're going to have to say something. God knows what I need, what he has for me. I know, Freddie. I'm just saying, like, wouldn't it be? I mean, we love what God gives us. We are not complaining. I mean, like right now, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I got. I did check my bank account. January the 9th was the deadline. Okay, all right. C6 Banks is in the building. Yeah, January the 9th was the deadline. They should have, at 5:00 p.m., hand over his stuff. I wonder, did he get it? Let's see what all did he get. But I was going to look here, and it says, Young Thug, let me see here. So the judge returns Young Thug's car's money, sees $149,000 in cash. So Fannie Willis office misled the courts by delaying Young Thug's assets. The judge said, I'm done with it. You guys give him his stuff back. I'm not playing. So I like for people to, if they've been done wrong, to get things back right. I like that. So, I'm not bad about that, So let me see if I can find. Okay, and I want to share this with you guys and you may not know this. Oh, here it is right here. So let's see. $149,426 Yeah, $149,426. Oh, so January the 7th at 4:29 p.m. Okay. Civil action. He said he ain't playing. He want his money. This case is before the court. Filed on December the 18th, 2025. The court conducted a hearing. Motion said January the 6th, 2026. For the reason articulated below, on August the 18th, 2025, filed a forced seizure hearing in the above. It's hard to see this case after the introduction. Let me see. That's okay. So here, this is what it says, you guys. Gotta make sure I'm okay. On or about September the 19th, the state filed an appeal for the courts for August 22nd. The notice of appeal, the state requests that the court will omit nothing from the records on appeal. Additionally, the notice of appeal contains the statement, the state requests any and all transcript files, and to this case, he sent to the appellate court as part of the record of this case. Okay. I don't see it. Let me just look at it. So, Mr. Williams' counsel office contacted the counsel for the state of Georgia and inquired if the state desired to have the proceedings taken down, and if so, whether the state wanted to share and take down the expenses. So, I guess Jeffrey is asking them about the expenses. Like, you either take the expenses off or I don't know. Therefore, the state never sought to share in the expenses of the court reporter. So they didn't want to pay for a court reporter. They didn't want nobody to report what was going on. Let me tell you something, you guys. You guys know, whenever you're dealing with court and judges and police, yeah, you want that stuff recorded. Yeah, I don't care if they got a recorder, they got somebody writing down what you said or whatever, but they didn't want a person to record what was said and what was happening in court. So, and I'm just gonna give it to you in layman's terms because that's how I perceived it. And just for for law purposes, I'm not no attorney or no law. This is just my opinion, okay? And my knowledge of what I know, which life, okay? It doesn't take you to be a rocket scientist to say, hey, you in court and they got your money, they got your house, they got your cars. You want someone to record what they said. Where's your money? So Fulton County did not want to pay for a reporter, and they said they wasn't going to pay for a reporter when they get ready to go to court. They don't want to be on record what was said. So Jeffrey paid for the reporter, you guys. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you. I can't tell you if the brother's smart or not, but he do know, look, he got him a good attorney. He got him a people attorney. So that makes it all good. So anyway, he paid for it. And so that's what that was all about. Okay. So they're talking about the evidence of the stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to read the whole transcript, but cuz it's a lot of legal terms. It's a lot of legal terms. But anyway, I want you guys to know that when they, even Fulton County back in like I think it was August, they were like they were trying to suspend his probation. Yeah, they were trying to suspend his parole. And they said that he violated something. I don't know what it was. He supposed to have violated, but they were trying to send him to prison, talking about, oh well, you took this big term and you violated it, and da 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 da, and they went back to court on that. And I'm gonna tell you something, and it normally works. Hey Tina, how you doing? I see you in the building, my friend. I will send your money out today. Or no. Tomorrow. See, because it's the post office closed at 5 and it's 3:42 here. So I won't be able to make it today. But I got it ready. I've been having it ready. I've been having it ready over the weekend. But well, actually I had it ready last week. I had it ready last week and ready to go out. I just haven't made it that way. But I am going to make it that way tomorrow. And if I wouldn't have came on today, I would have made it out there today. So it is on its way. I will actually text you and say, it's on its way. Your money's on its way. Anyway, you guys, yeah, I'll let you know so you can be looking for it. Okay. I'm not gonna say your address or nothing, but anyway, so that is what's going on with Young Thug. I do want to mention, you guys, he was dating this young girl, and I don't know, I think he married her. She was called something, the scientist. She was some kind of, she called herself, her street name or her TV name was something, the scientist or something. And pretty girl, very beautiful girl. And the thing about that is, like, it's, she loves Young Thug. She just loves him. Actually, he said she loves him too much. And because he's got all access to a lot of females or something. But I mean, and he loves her, but I don't know if, like, the yes, Megan the scientist, was that her name? Megan the scientist. I think I can't remember what her name was, but she's a very pretty girl. Anyway, you guys, I think he married her because he said something one time. He was in an interview and he said, my wife. And I was like, wife, whoa. And he also said something, he don't care for Woody, and he said all that happened because of Woody or something. I'm just letting you guys know. I mean, I heard it from the horse's mouth. So, I mean, some people was like, oh, I just love Woody and Woody. I don't like what happened as far as you know, Young Thug losing a lot of money, going through the stress he had to go through and losing a lot of deals. But I think sometimes when we look at Mariah, thank you, Lisa. Yes, that was her name. Her name was Mariah the scientist. And I don't know if she is a scientist or not, but that's her stage name. Very beautiful girl. And so, Mariah, let me, Mariah. Oh, jump, 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 jump. Yeah, I can't remember who sings that song. I can't sing worth the lick. Um, I was gonna tell y'all that on on Young Thug. I'm gonna say this because it kind of scares me a little bit. So I think it was back in August he did an interview and he put on a mask. And this is when they did not know that Fulton County was trying to revoke his parole, and he put on his mask. But they got confirmation that the judge denied the motion to revoke his parole. But he came on his interview with this back of the, like the Hebrew sheepskin. I'm giving you you got to use your imagination, you guys. I can explain to you how he looked. He had this big, oversized, like a throne castle coat on with all this fur. And if you guys look for the picture, and then he had, when they made those one games, it's not even really a game, that they got all these little pins and needles in them, and if you stick your finger in down to it, it makes the imprint. It's like it's little nails or little needles or something, but they don't stick you. It's not sharp. And you take your hand out, and it has your print of your hand, and you turn it upside down, and it all goes up to the front, and you put your hand into it, and I know you guys know what I don't know what it's called, but I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Well, he had a mask on that looked like that. Like a whole bunch of little digital little pins. Like a data print of a computer or something. And around the mask was like black fur. And the man asked him, why did he have the mask on? He said he didn't want nobody to see his face. He was like, I'm hiding, like he's hiding, I'm gonna say this because this is just my opinion, you guys. I kind of was like, oh my, like it just didn't look, and I'm just gonna say it just didn't look Christian to me. That's just, that's just a look, you guys. It just looked at like, um, how they talk about rappers and singers and football stars and stuff, and then yes, I didn't want to say the word, Lisa Calhoun. I didn't want to say the word, but that's what it looked like to me. And not like a, what I'm saying, like in that type of family, but not like scary like rawr. It wasn't scary like rawr. It was just that type of a persona was given out. So, but I like Young Thug. I really think, he looked like one of my exes, and I was so in love with that ex. We were toxic. We were toxic. My mother said you can't stay with him. We were toxic. And we love hard. We love hard. We was a dynamic duo. But then when He wanted to do what he wanted to do. Could not keep that boy from doing anything. He was going to do it. But, I don't know what it is about them bad boys. Yeah, them exes from Texas. Yeah. And I think he's probably out of prison now, but he was a bad boy. When we were younger, you couldn't tell us nothing. We was like, okay, so what? So what? He's a bad boy. It's something. I'm gonna tell you what's something about those bad boys. They take a chance, and then like if they have something, they share. And they want to show their lady that they're a manly man or whatever. I think that's what it is. And then when you have a square be like, it is what it is, like I really don't care if I don't have $2 or something, and don't ask me for no money. You need to go out there and get your own money. I can give you $10 and hopefully you pay the bills, but then you gotta cook, and then you gotta go to church, and then you gotta raise my kids, and you can't say nothing to my mother, and da da da. You be like, this is too much. Like, oh my, I mean, it goes from one extreme to controlism, I think, when you be with the nerds and the squares, to when you're with the exes. Like, shoot, if you get out of line, if you do something like you ain't supposed to do, yeah, y'all argue about it, whatever. Y'all try to get it together, but you still love. You know what I mean? Like my mama would always say, go in the bedroom and don't come out until y'all done worked it out. That's some good stuff there. But then, then you have your squares where, they, hey, there's no outbursts. You don't know if they really love you, they don't know how to express themselves, or, they just don't know how to express themselves, and then they're a little controlling, and then you're putting up with crap that you don't want to put up with, and you don't even go in the bedroom. How about that? You just sit there looking at them. And if you was in there, they probably wouldn't even know what's going on. They probably wouldn't know. I don't know. I'm just saying, you guys. So, yeah. Anyway, I wanted you guys to know that Young Thug, I don't know if he got his stuff. I was trying to look it up to see if he got it or what. But it says authorities hit deadline to return money property seized from there. But let me see. Young Thug cash, jewelry, and cars must be returned. Oh, 4 weeks ago, Young Thug proposes to Mariah the Scientist during Atlanta concert. So he went back. He be always in Atlanta doing a concert, you guys. So he proposed to her 4 weeks ago. Yes. He likes fashion, but I'm gonna tell you guys something. It's just weird. He's got a weird thinking about himself, but it's all in money, I guess, or something. But I think he's gonna find other ways. Fanny might not have all the things. Exactly, Phyllis. She might not. He says, let me see here. I'm trying to see. So Young Thug performed at a College Park festival as part of a sentence. Young Thug hosts a concert at Fulton County Courthouse. He did a concert, returns of Young Thug property in without any murder conviction, discussion like life after jail, Atlanta band, and new interview. Okay, hold on. Let's look at this real quick. It at the time it is unclear when the couple planned to get married. Okay, I just want you guys to know that. Okay. So he talked about his new music. This is crazy. So after spending almost 2.5 years in jail, Jeffrey pleaded no contest to one count each of the conspiracy to violating the state racketeering and corruption organization act. Let me see here. Judge ordered Jeffrey's jury to be returned, uh, which was he was commuted to time served and 15 years on probation. The remaining 20 years in prison will be commuted in time served if he comply. We know all of that. What they're saying in the GQ interview, Jeffrey called his experience in jail real, saying that he didn't want to deal with that experience ever again. I think God put me in there for a reason, and I'm still trying to figure it out. I always feel like I was a good guy, so it was like, why do I got to go to jail for you to show me something? Why you just can't tell me? I guess I was just hard headed, he said. The rapper said his decision to plead guilty was difficult, calling the situation he was put in crazy. But you got a chance to keep fighting. You can't worry about the jury's fate, or you can just go ahead now and go home. It's like, you know, he said. Okay. So we know I feel more peace now, he says. You can move with almost nothing over your head. You got probation, but that's really nothing. I'm not going to violate probation. It's just like almost fully peaceful. Once probation is over, then it's like, okay, cool, he said. Young Thug newest album is set to be released on May the 9th. You can read the full GQ interview. Okay, you guys? So he's doing. Young Thug seems to be on a good path. You know, Miss Phyllis. I'm gonna tell you this by the look, and looks are deceiving. This is just my opinion. I'm just saying, by the looks of the mask that he had on, I'm kind of a little leery. He says everybody popping out, but everybody still sound like Atlanta or move to Atlanta or rap about Atlanta. He said you got artists from a whole other place rapping about Atlanta. So I think he's kind of a little bit upset that, a person from a different state come and talking about Atlanta's this, Atlanta that. And he's from Atlanta and he can't even go to his own town. That's crazy. That's crazy. But I mean, if it's gonna keep the peace, I think the reason why they put um those regulations in his probation sentence, that he has to do this. I look at things like this, you guys. I'm gonna tell you this. Sometimes when life gives you lemons, you know how the word is you supposed to make lemonade. It's sometimes hard when you want to do what you want to do. Like you were born in Atlanta, you was raised in Atlanta. Now you can't go to Atlanta. Like you a bad person. That's what they're trying to make it look like. No, 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 no. Don't make it look like that. I know what it looks like. That's what it looks like. But there's other people like myself that know that it might keep you alive. Maybe that's why, God allowed certain things to take place. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, like you quit a job, you be like, or get fired from a job. You get fired from a job. But you don't quit looking at the cup half empty. Why can't you look at the cup in everyday life, in any situation you in? Look at the cup half full. Just like Freddie said, what's for me is for me. I ain't worried about what nobody else got. God gave me this. Oh, good. She look at it like in a good way. If he didn't give it to me, then I can't pay it. Guess what? Then I don't have to worry about it. We're just gonna do without. Oh, I can't go to the store and get bread, butter, eggs, such and such, because I ain't got no money. Well, I ain't gonna have to worry about going. I ain't got to worry about gas to get into the store, the car running, or anything, because guess what? I ain't got no money. We're gonna stay at home and eat what we have in the cabinets, or the pantry, or the refrigerator, or whatever. You know, and people thinking that's a bad thing. Oh, you're doing bad because you got to eat ramen noodles, or you got to eat what you got in your house. Well, maybe, and I'm not saying this to be sarcastic. I'm just really, I do look at stuff this way. Maybe, what if, let's back it up and say, what if you had the money, you had $20, and God didn't step in. So, and everything is just it just happens. I'm gonna tell you, things just don't just happen. In the Bible, and somebody look it up. Matter of fact, I can look it up right here, because I know. When you know your Father, you know his words. All decisions come from the Lord.
The phrase, all decisions come from the Lord, comes from a biblical viewpoint, specifically Proverbs chapter 16, verse 33, which suggests that while people make plans, God ultimately controls the outcome. Verses like Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9 reinforce this, stating that people plan, but the Lord directs their steps.
Okay, you guys. So, you guys just heard. Like I said, when you know your Father, you know his words. I'm no scholar. I can never tell you where it is. I can tell you what his word says. I can tell you, because guess what? I know all decisions come from the Lord. All decisions. So and if you want some in depth, you have to ask him. Don't come asking me. I'm not the Lord. You feel me? But what I was going to say was, so if all decisions was not the Lord, then things just happen. And then you go to the store and a train comes off the track and runs right into you, and you're gone. Then you'll be like, oh, why did the Lord let this happen? We took the Lord out the equation. See, you could not just accept that you don't have no money to go to the store, so he put you in a place of stay at home, eat, and eat some humble pie, eat your noodles. You don't need that. You don't need high cholesterol. You don't need, a heart attack. So quit looking at the cup half empty and be accepted to what God has given you, where God has placed you. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, because the Lord did say, In the word. It's in the word, you guys. It is. You know what? Read it for yourself. All decisions come from the Lord. It is not what I say. You do not have to like me. It is what it is. And when you spend time with the Lord, you will know that. Okay? I do try to back it up by just showing you where you can find it by, my phone. I speak it in my phone and my phone will tell me where it is. My memory's not good. Next week, I'm still not going to know where to find it. So you can ask me about it and I'm still not going to know where to find it. But I can tell you one thing. I know that's his words because when you spend time with the Lord, y'all have a conversation and you ask questions and you done read it, you done seen it, and you ask questions about stuff, so you know his words. It's just like your kids. You sometimes say things that your kids say. Say, my bad. I used to think they used to say, like, my bag, B-A-G. I didn't know it was my bad, B-A-D. But my kids say that. My bad. That don't even make sense. You're bad. I mean, that's kind of like some, I don't know, like some broken down English or something. My bad. Okay. But when you spend time with someone you love, you pick up their words, you pick up what they're saying, you ask the questions, and y'all have conversations and stuff. Doesn't mean I'm not, I'm not a religious person, you guys. I'm just telling you, you just know what he likes. You know how he thinks. You know, and I wanted to share this with you guys before I get off of here. I am going to get off of here. So I was at work last night, and this one lady, she's losing her memory, and she's pretty much like 60% losing her memory. She might have Alzheimer's or dementia or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what she has. But anyway, she wanted me to sit up in her room and she was asking me questions. I look in her eyes and I don't see that she's gonna live that long. But I'm no, I'm not no doctor. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing saying, Alzheimer's doesn't give you a death sentence. I'm just saying when I look at her, she tells me she's scared to die. And I felt good that I have not been really speaking on the Lord in his promise in the word. I have not really. I'm just being honest with you guys. And when somebody's scared to die, they might be in a situation. I mean, sometimes you can see death on them, or like the way they moving around, they breathing hard all the time, or I mean, you just know. But I'm just happy that and I'm not saying she died, you guys. She ain't dead or nothing. I'm just saying, like sometimes you run into people that wants to hear the Lord's word. They anxious. They want to know. How do you know this? I said, honey, you know. Some people, they read. Some people go to church. Some people are taught. Some people are told. And some people, they know. They don't just know because they just thought they know. They know because the Lord has given it to them or showed them. Okay? You guys know this. Even when Jesus asked Peter, Paul, and them, who do they say I am? And then I think it was Paul or something. I don't know if it was Peter or Paul or whoever, but we'll look it up real quick. He says, well, you're the son of the living God, or you're the son of Jesus. I mean, you're the son. and or you Lord, you whatever. And you know what the Lord said? Jesus said, "There's no way you could have known unless my Father had told you or given it to you. There's no way." I'm going to say this for those of you that can understand what I'm saying. Peter, thank you. That, to be honest with you, it's not a constellation to know. The constellation to know is to do what you're supposed to do with what you have or what you know. It's not bragging rights. Actually, it's kind of two things. Either you needed to know because you were going to head in the wrong direction and have little faith, or the Lord is trying to help you get into heaven. But it is better to have faith without any of the physical attributes. You guys do know that, right? I'm just letting you know. The person that have not seen spiritual things, the person that have not adventure in that spiritual world, you're in a better place with the Lord than a person that's seen the spiritual world that knows. I just want you guys to know. It's hard to explain it, but it's actually in the Bible somewhere. But let's look it up. Is it better to know spiritual world things or faith not seen?
Yes, many spiritual traditions believe understanding the spiritual world through faith is more important. Faith provides evidence for things like God and the afterlife, offering a deeper, more meaningful life than focusing only on the physical world. It's about trusting in what is revealed, not blind belief.
So I don't know where it is, but it's in the Bible somewhere. I must be wording it wrong, but this is what she just said. Yes, many spiritual traditions teach that understanding the invisible world through faith is considered more profound. And it is. Uh Phyllis says, better to serve God for who he is than to serve God fine for his benefits. Exactly. Exactly. Faith is considered more profound and real than focus solely on the temporary physical world. But it's somewhere in there, you guys. So the Bible serves as the primary guide, revealing the truth about the spirit world, like angels and God's presence and stuff, and the wisdom and stuff. But I mean, there's you know, and anyway, I wanted to share this with you guys real quick before we get out of here. That the one thing that this young lady did, well, I'll share that with you and just tell you some little stuff. But she asked me, she kept asking me, "How do you know?" And I said, "Because I asked." And I mean, you can tell she wanted to know. How do you know? She wanted to know, how do you know that there is something after death? Tina says, be grateful for what you do have, and he has given it to you, God. Okay. She wanted to know, how do you know that there is a heaven and a hell after life? How do you know? And so I'm going to share with you the answer to that. To answer how did I how did I find out? How did I know? If you want to know, then you can get the answer too. So she was asking, how do you know? How do you know? You say you know. How do you know that there's a heaven and hell? I said, oh yeah, sure. She was like, you believe? I said, no, I know it is. I don't believe, I know. How do you know? Sonny, how do you know? And I mean, she's labor breathing, asking me this. If you don't know what I mean when I say labor breathing, she's breathing like this. So that tells me she has heart problems. She has lung problems. And why I say heart problems and lung problems? Because the first thing you probably said is, that's your lungs, Sonny. That's your lungs, SB. Yeah, I understand it's your lungs because you're breathing hard, but it's your heart too. You know why? Because if you're breathing that hard, you're making your heart work harder. Your lungs do not keep you alive. Your heart keeps you alive. So if you're breathing hard like that, that means your heart is working hard. You know, that's like revving up a car's engine. You hear the sound like, that's your lungs. But your heart has to beat harder to keep up with your breathing. It can only do that for so long. Thank you, Lisa Calhoun, for that word. He did. And that is something he always put in my mind. It would not be, but I told you, if it was not true, he said, he went to go prepare a place for us. And if it was not true, he would not have told us that. That's it. You don't sit there and question things when you know what the word says. When you know what the word says, you don't sit there and say, well, he said that. What did he mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? He said he went to go prepare a place. And if it was not true, he wouldn't have told you that. The end. And I'm not saying you can't question, but you don't even have to be in debt to understand. Just like baby talk or a dog. Sometimes people can communicate with a dog and a dog can't talk. My dog lets me know anytime he wants to go outside, when he wants to eat, when he wants some loving, when he wants to be pet, when he wants to play. And he can't speak a word, but I know. Why? Because you know why? And this is something that I also told her. And I told her, you will know too. She said, why? I said, ask. Just ask. You can have eyes and ears, but still cannot understand or see nothing. But if you ask, he will tell you. He tells you. Anyway, you know, when you guys don't see me come on a lot, don't get worried. This channel's not going nowhere. I will always be on here to chit chat with you guys, conversate with you guys, because my faith ain't going nowhere. I'm taking it with me. When I go, it's going with me. You guys understand? I will always talk about the Lord because that is what I'm supposed to do. So if anybody get offended, you can get offended, okay? I didn't tell you you have to choose anything or do anything. You can listen or not listen. You can be my friend. We ain't got to believe in the same thing. But trust and believe, if you get mad because that's what I talk about, you're going to be mad for a long time. Because in everything that I do, I'm not going to sit here and say that's all we do. But I mean, I know that we as human beings and adults, we're going through some stuff. We are in our last days, whether it's our last day of living or our last day of life. But we are living in the last day. In these world, the things that is happening, and you have to live in this world. And he tells us, yeah, we have to live in the world, but do not conform to the world. He tells us that. That means just because you like donuts don't mean you become a donut. These worldly things that's happening is almost forcing a lot of us people to go against what we know. So our strength is having a place that we can go and hear about things that's happening and knowing how to combat it even when it's dark. So I will always keep this channel open. I will always. I may not come on every day. I may not, whatever. But this is a safe place. And I would like to always tell you guys, like, hey, this happened to me today. This woman was scared. She said she's scared of dying. And what if it's not a place? I said, well, then if it's not a place, afterlife, you ain't got nothing to worry about, do you? Because nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Thank you very much. So what are we talking about? She said, but what if it is? She said, it's a big if. I said, it ain't. It's for you an if. It's not an if for me. I know it is. I said, if in your world it is, what are you scared about? You believe in the sun, right? So you got nothing to worry about. You ask God to forgive you about your sins, right? All right. Then you're good. You did the best you could do, right? That's all you can do. All that other stuff, that's all you can do. Phyllis, sometimes I worry. I do. I worry because I don't worry for myself. I worry because, I have had people in, late conversations after lives and stuff. They'll say something to me. Oh, they want to argue about something. You know what though? I don't even get mad about it. You know what I tell them? I don't know everything. Don't even look at me like that. I don't know everything. I can tell you what I know. That's it. Whether you get it or don't get it, it is not for me to judge if you get it or don't get it. I don't know who's supposed to get it. I just know I'm going to do what he puts on my heart. And I'm going to say what he puts on my heart. Yeah, it gets scary sometimes because sometimes you can lose your job. But sometimes he put things in places so that you're going to be protected. You may not see the protection, but it's there. Somebody didn't come to work today, or somebody fell, so all the people was over here when you were doing this or doing that. And then sometimes when you're supposed to have some kind of discipline or be in trouble for something, he protects you. You know what I'm saying? He has compassion. Because remember, like Moses got angry when one of the officers was striking one of the slaves, and then Moses actually killed the officer. Somebody was looking at that. Somebody was watching it. And then Moses took off and left. You would think, well, Moses, you supposed to go to jail. You killed somebody. And you know what I'm saying? You'd be like, but Moses went out, and now Moses is really great in the Bible of a person because he went up on Mount Sinai, talked to the Lord, and got the commandments for us, and never did get to see the promised land and all kind of other stuff. But the Lord fought for his soul when he died. I see y'all. See what I'm saying? You people be like, "What you talking about, SP?" Well, you heard what I said. Because the devil thought he was gonna get his soul because Moses killed somebody. The Lord said, "No, no, 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 no. You don't. You don't get that. I don't care what he did. I I make the rules. You don't get that." Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna get off of here and thank you, Phyllis. And anybody, anytime wants to come on the live and share something that you went through or anything that's God driven, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like Freddie was on here, and Freddie was like, the Lord blessed me this week and gave me 260 dollars, man. Hallelujah. See what I'm saying? You want to spread the word of goodness or something? We always gonna have time for that. All right, you guys. But I'm finna get off of here. You guys be good, be great, and be nice to each other. Bye.